Tonight, I'll take you to the most romantic city in the world, where love blooms like cherry blossoms in spring. But first, let me tell you about Claire and Antoine, whose gentle love story will carry you into the sweetest dreams. Find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Let me transport you to a magical evening in Paris, where the air smells of fresh croissants and blooming flowers, and where every cobblestone holds a whisper of romance. It's a warm evening in May, and the sun is just beginning to set over the rooftops of Montmartre. The golden light spills across the narrow streets like honey, illuminating the old stone buildings with their wrought iron balconies overflowing with geraniums and ivy. The scent of lilacs drifts through the air, mixed with the aroma of fresh bread from the boulangerie on the corner. Our story begins with Claire, a young artist who has just moved to Paris from a small village in She carries with her an old easel that belonged to her grandmother and dreams as bright as the spring sunshine. This evening she walks slowly along the Seine, her footsteps soft on the ancient stones as she searches for the perfect spot to paint the sunset. River flows gently beside her, reflecting the warm light of the setting sun like liquid gold. Weeping willows trail their delicate branches in the water, creating soft ripples that catch the last rays of daylight. Claire pauses at Pont Neuf, the oldest bridge in Paris, and sets up her easel, feeling the gentle breeze that carries the sound of distant accordion music from somewhere across the water. As she mixes her paints on her palette, creating the perfect shade of rose gold. For the evening sky, Claire becomes lost in her work. Her brush moves gracefully across the canvas, capturing the way the light dances on the water, and how the Cathedral of Notre Dame stands majestically in the distance. She doesn't notice the young man who has stopped to watch her work, his own heart captured by the peaceful concentration on her face. Antoine is a violinist who plays in the evenings at a small cafe near the Latin Quarter. He's walking home after an early rehearsal, his violin case slung over his shoulder, when he sees Claire painting by the river. Something about the scene touches his soul, the way the fading light frames her silhouette, the gentle focus in her movements, the beauty she's creating with each stroke of her brush. He stands quietly for several minutes, not wanting to disturb her creative process, but unable to walk away from the lovely picture she makes against the backdrop of the Seine. Finally, he approaches, slowly clearing his throat softly so as not to startle her. "Excuse me, mademoiselle," he says, in a voice as gentle as the evening breeze. "I hope you don't mind my watching, but your painting is absolutely beautiful." Claire looks up, surprised but not alarmed. There's something kind in his dark eyes, something that makes her feel safe and understood. "Oh, thank you," she replies with a soft smile. "I'm trying to capture how the light looks just now, but it changes so quickly." Antoine nods, understanding completely. As a musician, he knows about trying to capture something beautiful before it fades away. "May I suggest something?" he asks hesitantly. "There's a small cafe just around the corner, with tables outside. The view of the river is even more beautiful from there, and they serve the most wonderful hot chocolate in Paris. Perhaps you could finish your painting there while I play a few songs. The music might help you find the right rhythm for your brushstrokes. Claire considers his offer. There's something genuine about this young man with his gentle manner and artistic soul. She finds herself saying yes before she's even fully thought about it. Together they walk to the little cafe nestled between two ancient buildings, their walls covered in climbing roses that release their sweet perfume into the evening air. The cafe is called Les Étoiles Romantiques, and it's exactly the kind of place Claire had dreamed about when she imagined living in Paris. Small round tables with checkered tablecloths sit beneath strings of warm golden lights. The proprietor, Madame Dubois, greets them with a knowing smile, as if she's witnessed countless romantic beginnings in her charming establishment. Antoine helps Claire set up her easel beside a table with the perfect view of the Seine, while he arranges his music stand nearby. Soon the air fills with the sweet melody of his violin, a gentle waltz that seems to make the very evening dance around them. Claire finds that her painting flows more naturally now, each brushstroke moving in harmony with the music, as if they're creating something beautiful together, even in their separate arts. As the stars begin to appear in the deepening sky, Madame Dubois brings them steaming cups of hot chocolate topped with fresh cream, and a plate of delicate madeleines that melt on the tongue like sweet clouds. The few other patrons speak in hushed voices, creating a peaceful atmosphere that wraps around Claire and Antoine like a warm embrace. Between songs, Antoine tells Claire about his music, how he learned to play from his grandfather in a small town in Normandy, how he dreams of composing symphonies that capture the beauty of everyday moments like this one. Claire shares her own dreams of painting scenes that make people feel the wonder she sees in simple things, the way light falls across old stones, or how flower petals look like silk in the morning dew. As the evening grows later and the cafe begins to empty, they find themselves talking as naturally as old friends. Claire shows Antoine the techniques she learned from studying the Impressionists, while Antoine plays soft melodies that seem to paint pictures in the air. They discover they both love to walk in Père Lachaise cemetery, not because it's morbid, because it's peaceful and full of beautiful art and stories. They both cherish quiet Sunday mornings at the Marche aux Fleurs, buying fresh flowers not just for their beauty, but for the joy of supporting the elderly flower vendors who've been selling blooms there for decades. They both believe that the most beautiful moments in life are often the quietest ones that pass, unnoticed by those who are always rushing toward something else. When Madame Dubois gently informs them that she must close for the evening, Antoine offers to walk Claire home. Through the winding streets of the Marais, they stroll slowly, wanting to make the evening last, their footsteps echoing softly off the narrow cobblestone alleys lined with medieval buildings whose upper floors lean toward each other like old friends sharing secrets. They pass beneath ancient stone archways where ivy cascades down like green waterfalls, and pause to admire tiny courtyards hidden behind wrought iron gates where fountains tinkle softly and cats doze on sun-warmed stones. The night air is sweet with the scent of jasmine, and somewhere in the distance a church bell tolls the hour with deep resonant notes that seem to bless their gentle romance. At Claire's door, Antoine hesitates. not wanting the evening to end. "May I see you again tomorrow?" he asks hopefully. "Perhaps we could visit the Musée d'Orsay together. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the Impressionist collection, and afterward we could have lunch at a little bistro I know that serves the most incredible onion soup." Claire's heart flutters like butterfly wings. She would love nothing more than to spend another day exploring art and conversation with this gentle musician who seems to understand her soul. "Of course," she says, with a smile that lights up her face like sunrise. "I'd love that very much." As the days pass, Claire and Antoine meet regularly, always finding new wonders to explore together. They spend hours in the Louvre, not rushing through the crowds, but finding quiet corners where they can study individual paintings and discuss what they see. Antoine points out how Vermeer uses light, the same way Claire captures it in her own work, while Claire helps him see how the flowing lines in a Degas painting mirror the melodic phrases in his compositions. They discover hidden gardens, tucked away behind busy streets, places where time seems to move more slowly and where they can sit on old stone benches surrounded by lavender and rosemary, sharing picnics of fresh bread, cheese, and strawberries from the local market. In these peaceful spaces, Antoine often brings his violin and plays softly, while Claire sketches the way the afternoon light filters through the leaves, creating patterns of gold and green that dance across his face as he plays. On rainy afternoons, they seek shelter in small bookshops that smell of old paper and possibility, where they browse through volumes of poetry and art, books reading favorite passages aloud to each other. They frequent tiny tea shops, where the proprietors come to know their preferences and always save them a table by the window where they can watch the rain create impressionist paintings on the glass, while they warm their hands around cups of Earl Grey and share slices of tart tatin that tastes like happiness. Their favorite spot becomes the gardens of the Palais, where they can sit beneath the covered arcades when the weather is uncertain, and in the peaceful courtyard when the sun shines. Here, surrounded by symmetrical rows of lime trees and the gentle sound of fountains, they spend entire afternoons just talking about everything and nothing. Antoine tells Claire about the pieces he's composing inspired by their walks together, while Claire shows him her sketchbook filled with drawings of their special places. One evening, as spring turns toward summer, they attend a concert in St. where the colored light streaming through the magnificent stained glass windows creates a cathedral of rainbows around them. As the music soars toward the vaulted ceiling, Antoine takes Claire's hand for the first time, their fingers intertwining as naturally as melodies finding harmony. In that moment, surrounded by beauty and music and colored light, they both understand that what they've found together is something precious and rare. After the concert, they walk home through the Latin Quarter, where the narrow streets wind like a medieval maze between ancient buildings. Students sit at outdoor cafe tables, engaged in animated discussions about philosophy and art, while the warm, evening air carries the sound of laughter and clinking glasses. Street musicians play on corners, adding their melodies to the symphony of Parisian nightlife, and the scent of crepes cooking on sidewalk stands mingles with the sweet fragrance of linden blossoms. They pause on the Pont des Arts, where lovers have attached thousands of padlocks to the bridge railings as symbols of their eternal devotion. While they don't add their own lock, they stand together, watching the Seine flow beneath them, carrying the reflected lights of the city like fallen stars. Antoine hums, softly, a melody he's been working on that captures the peace he feels when he's with Claire while she rests her head against his shoulder, feeling more content than she's ever felt in her life. As summer deepens, their love grows quietly and steadily, like flowers blooming in a well-tended garden. They establish gentle routines that become precious rituals, attending outdoor concerts in the Tuileries Gardens, where they spread a blanket on the grass and listen to classical music under the stars. They visit farmers' markets on Saturday mornings, selecting fresh fruits and vegetables that they'll prepare together in Claire's tiny kitchen, creating simple meals that taste extraordinary because they're shared with love. Sunday afternoons often find them at the Musée Rodin, where they can wander through the sculpture garden and see how the artist captured emotion in marble and bronze. They sit beside the thinker and discuss philosophy, or stroll among the rose bushes that surround the museum, sharing quiet observations about beauty and creativity. These peaceful hours spent surrounded by art and nature strengthen their bond and deepen their understanding of each other's souls. On warm evenings, they often return to the little cafe where they first met, sitting at the same table by the river and watching new couples discover each other just as they once did. Madame Dubois always greets them like family, now bringing them their usual hot chocolate without being asked, and sometimes sitting with them for a few minutes to share stories about all the romances that have bloomed in her magical little establishment. As autumn arrives, painting the city in shades of gold and amber, Claire and Antoine's love has become as natural and essential as breathing. They've learned each other's rhythms and moods, the way he concentrates when he's working on a difficult passage and needs quiet space to think, the way she gets completely absorbed in her painting and forgets to eat until he brings her a cup of tea and a gentle reminder. They've developed a language of small gestures and understanding glances. Antoine leaves little notes written in his elegant handwriting, tucked into Claire's art supplies, love poems he's composed, or simply reminders that he's thinking of her. Claire surprises him with tiny paintings of moments from their days together. The way the light fell across his face when he was playing violin in the garden, or how he looked when he was completely absorbed in reading a book of poetry. Their love is not the dramatic passion of films and novels, but something quieter and more enduring, like a steady flame that warms without burning, like a gentle stream that nourishes everything it touches. It's built on shared silences as much as conversation, on the comfort of simply being together, even when they're pursuing their separate arts. As our gentle story draws to a close picture, Claire and Antoine on a crisp October evening, walking hand in hand along the Seine as the last golden leaves drift down from the plane trees lining the riverbank. The city lights are just beginning to twinkle in the gathering dusk, and somewhere in the distance, an accordion player adds his melody to the peaceful symphony of Paris. At evening, they're discussing plans for the future. Antoine's upcoming performance at a small concert hall where Claire will sit in the front row and beam with pride, and Claire's upcoming art show where Antoine will help her hang her paintings and charm all the gallery visitors with his warm smile and genuine enthusiasm for her work. But mostly, they're simply enjoying this perfect moment, walking slowly through their adopted city, feeling grateful for the chance encounter that brought them together, and for all the quiet, beautiful days that have followed. Their love story continues, not with dramatic climaxes, but with daily kindnesses and shared dreams, and the deep contentment that comes from having found someone who truly sees and appreciates your soul. As you drift off to sleep tonight, let yourself be carried away by the gentle rhythm of their footsteps on ancient cobblestones and the peaceful certainty of love that asks for nothing more than the simple joy of being together. Dream of spring, flowers and violin music, of quiet conversations over café au lait, and the magical way that love can transform ordinary moments into something extraordinary. Sleep peacefully, knowing that somewhere in the winding streets of Paris, love stories continue to unfold as naturally as roses bloom in spring, and that the most beautiful romances are often the quietest ones, built on friendship and understanding, and the shared appreciation of life's gentle gifts. Sweet dreams of Parisian spring, where love is as natural as breathing and as enduring as the ancient stones that have witnessed countless lovers find their way to each other beneath the starlit sky of the most romantic city in the world.